What's up, everyone? Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised A Geek. This week, we discuss episode 5 of HBO's The Last of Us. So let's get into it. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm here with my buddy, Don. How we doing, man?
Chris, what is up today, my friend? We are okay. As usual, cannot complain.
Yeah.
That's my tagline, right?
Can't complain. Ain't gonna do anything if you do. Ain't gonna matter.
Yeah. Ain't gonna nothing. Nobody's gonna care.
No, I'll care if you got complaints. I care.
You'll care. No one else will. That's fine. No crazy stories like last week. I didn't fall off any trucks this week.
You're still walking. You're still mobile.
My ankle feels much better for those of you who expressed concern. Nobody did. But if you thought concern, Chris expressed concern. But I'm fine now. It was just like a 24-hour pain.
Dude, that's
episode.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're like a superhero. Like Unbreakable.
Could have been a lot worse. Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
I was seeing some Bruce Willis stuff from this week. He's got like dementia or something. That's sad. I love Bruce. We love Bruce here. That's a sad story.
I know. I saw someone on Twitter that was like, "Post your favorite Bruce Willis movie." And I'm like, "This is just gonna be a feed of Die Hard."
Right.
Like
you might get a couple six senses in there, maybe some Armageddon, but it's like no, it's Die Hard.
It's just a wall of Die Hards. I understand that people on Twitter jump on there just to be like, "What's the first franchise you think of when you see this actor?" But
right.
And I know they're just looking for interaction, so it's there. But sometimes they're so stupid, and I always see them, and I'm like, I'm not answering you. Right. I have a good one too, and I'm not answering. And then sometimes I feel like I have to. So,
yeah.
And then I go in because I think I have something funny, and then I look through the comments and realize 15 other people did the exact same joke, and it makes me feel extremely unoriginal.
Yeah, if you're not first with it, then don't even post it.
But then, like, does that mean if I'm not the only one thinking of that, then other people are? Then am I special? I thought I was special. Like I was the only person in the world who thought of that. And Twitter makes me realize really quick that I'm not.
Social media makes me feel unspecial.
My mom always told me I was special. Now Twitter is like undoing 40 years of mom gushing.
That's what it'll do.
Yeah.
That's what it'll do.
That's exactly what it is. We haven't talked in a while. I was all over the place this week, so we weren't able. This episode aired. Episode 5 of The Last of Us aired Friday before the Super Bowl. I didn't watch it till Monday. You watched it Friday, and you kept texting me going, "What's wrong with you? Why haven't you watched this yet?" Took me like 4 days to watch the damn thing. Super Bowl was in there. Then all week I was like, I'm tired. I don't really know. So we're sitting here on Friday. We're like 2 days from episode 6. Finally going to record this thing. Haven't even talked to you since the Super Bowl. How was the Super Bowl, man?
Biggest game of the year. It's fun. Football part of it was fun. I don't know. Yeah. Had some little Rihanna Super Bowl halftime show that the internet loved to talk about. If you're like, she's pregnant. Okay. Great. That was fun. And Eagles, Chiefs, fun game. A bunch of commercials in there. Normal Super Bowl, I'm glad it wasn't just for football reasons. Nothing's worse than a blowout Super Bowl, and it's happened a couple times, or like a no scoring Super Bowl. You remember that one from a couple of years ago where it was like the Rams and somebody were like, I think the final score was like 9-6. Just like,
yeah, I do remember.
Like super boring. Just like, oh god, like.
That was the Patriots, wasn't it? The Patriots and somebody, all they did were kicking field goals. It was like the Chiefs and the Patriots or something.
No, I think it was Rams, Patriots. I don't know at this point, but
yeah, and I'm not going to look it up. So
no,
if you know, you know,
right? But there was points scored this year, so it was fun. Yeah, man, I had fun. Watch some commercials. Commercials aren't as good as they used to be. Is that just me?
No, this Super Bowl, they were rough. Like there were very few. Like I went to work Thursday. I went into the office on Thursday, and they're like, "What was your favorite Super Bowl commercial, Chris?" I'm like, "I don't remember any."
Like I didn't have any.
Like the only one I could remember were those Pepsi ones with like Ben Stiller and Steve Martin who were like acting. And I was like, those ones were my favorite because I just did not remember another single commercial. All of the movie trailers that came out, they were like, check out the full trailer online. I'm like, no, I'm here now. I don't want to go on YouTube to watch it. Don't just show it to me.
Why can't you just show me it? Yeah, that's a new trend with those kind of things that bothers me. Like
Especially when they
you
were
guys
dropping
can't
on
fit
like
it.
Friday.
Yeah, you can't fit it in the commercial. I gotta go click around.
It's
Yeah,
about that money. They're like, oh, we could spend $100 million for 30 seconds, or we could spend $400 million for 2 minutes.
yeah. Damn capitalism.
Capitalism. But yeah, Super Bowl was a good time. But speaking of trailers, I guess coming through, we did finally get the trailer for The Flash,
Yes.
the multiverse Flash adjacent. What the hell is that thing called?
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
Oh yeah.
Flashpoint coming to life on the big screen. What'd you think of this trailer, man? I know we were just talking about DC and all their announcements and all of their stuff. What'd you think? We finally see what the Flash is going to be, and this is something James Gunn's been saying it's amazing, and it's the beginning of the next era of DCU.
Yeah. Well, first off, what else is James Gunn gonna say besides it's amazing? He's got to try to sell this thing.
He could say what he said about Shazam. Shazam's just over there. It's there. Check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. But
the Flash, he at least made it a point. Now there's obviously all kinds of rumors of what this movie actually, is going to be. So we'll see about that. But from what they showed us, people seem to be excited.
People, yeah. Am I excited? I don't know. It looks bright, shiny, fun, blockbuster, I guess. Some, just superhero movie. Not particularly, we've talked about it, not particularly a huge fan of the Flash character anyway, and certainly not a big fan of Ezra Miller. But this movie's gonna happen whether we care or not. And I guess the biggest selling point anybody really mostly cares about is the Batman stuff in this. That's what they've been selling this movie to us as from the beginning, with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck's and both of their involvements. Does it only go that far? Is there, more stuff? Is Christian Bale coming? Is that the big thing they're trying to hide? Yeah, who knows?
His bat cycle was in there.
Yeah, I saw that. And people are speculating.
Well, speculating, of course, but can you imagine Christian Bale being in this?
No.
Like, that would be weird as fuck, right?
I think so.
Like, if you saw Christian Bale next to Batfleck,
right?
Like doing even him acting with Ezra Miller as like the Flash, like that Batman next to the Flash.
Ezra Miller's
what world? Flash. Just any Flash, but yeah, Ezra Miller's Flash. Grant Gustin can come running out of the CW universe and stand next to Christian Bale, and that's gonna look weird as hell too. Like the idea of that, it would obviously be crazy, and it would be it's sad that even if that is true in any capacity, there's no way they keep that a secret.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, it's still even funny to me that Keaton and Affleck, we know we're both in it. It's like they're almost doing the Spider-Man thing. Like, you guys are doing the Spider-Man thing. You know you're doing that, right? No, this is showed us. This is our own whatever. But you're doing the Spider-Man thing just as with Batman. Which is fine, I guess. I don't know. I like seeing Michael Keaton. It's, just for nostalgic purposes. It's funny to me how how quickly his Batman is able to move around now. When if you go back and watch Batman 89 or Batman Returns, he's like can barely move. His neck never turns. Like he punches people all slow. He was like looked like a 50-year-old man back then.
Now he is, and he's like, CGI.
Now his Batman's flying around and flying through the sky. It's pretty funny.
I was watching a breakdown video of this trailer, trying to find like why I should care, and someone was talking about. They were like, "Oh man, I love that they kept the suit with no mobility for Keaton, and he's still wearing it looking around." And then this dude dropped a bunch of clips of like Keaton trying to like turn in that suit from like the original '89. The funniest one was when he looked up and he had to bend at the waist, and he like leaned back. It was so funny. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard at this idea that he almost went like 90 degrees to look up. It was so funny. So
they built that Batman suit. Him and Alfred worked tirelessly making that thing to hinder his ability to move and see. Like he would be at a disadvantage to criminals.
He would die so fast in that suit.
Yeah.
If anybody walked out in that giant rubber suit and was like, I'm here to stop you from committing a crime, they'd be like, you're dead.
Yeah, just he got killed by a man just walking up on his side because he couldn't see him.
The guy wasn't even committing a crime. Batman startled him and he killed him. Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure I'll see this at some point. This trailer, I mean, the Batman stuff is really cool. The Flash stuff isn't. The fact that they're leaning so heavy into the Batman of it in this trailer, just, I don't know, to me screams that they don't have anything, or that they're really just hiding the Ezra Miller of it. The fact that they showed me two Ezra Millers is just a lot to handle for me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see as it gets closer. When's it come out? Is it March?
Maybe. I'm not
I
sure.
can't even tell you.
I don't know.
Whenever it gets close to come out, I mean, I can easily wait the 45 days. We'll see what happens. If there is anything cool, it's going to get spoiled immediately. So we'll see how I feel once it gets closer to theaters. But I mean, it looked fine. It looked like a DC movie. But once again, as we've said over and over and over again, I don't know why I should care about DC at this exact moment.
Right.
So it's very easy for me to just meh it.
Yeah.
But I'll see it and we'll talk about it here on the podcast. I mean, worst case scenario when it hits HBO.
Yeah, just our 90-day wait or whatever it is.
45. We don't even have to wait 90.
Right.
I'm waiting longer to watch Babylon again than I'm going to have to wait to watch The Flash.
You love Babylon.
I really did. I still think about it. And I'm like, man, I've been trying really hard not to buy it digitally.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm going to buy it, I'd rather buy the disc. I'm getting into physical media again because I don't know.
Bring it back.
I'm watching like video games disappear and like, oh, we're shutting down these servers. And I'm like, man, it's all going to go away. And streaming services, HBO is just cutting shit. And Netflix is dropping Arrested Development, their 2 seasons. So like the 2 seasons that they did for Arrested Development is just, they're going to be gone as of like March 15th.
I saw that.
I mean, I didn't watch the last season they did, but still.
Yeah.
They just take it away. So
the noble cause. Good luck to you.
So now I'm like, well, maybe I'm going to buy like the 3 things that I like a year.
There you go.
Halo just came out on Blu-ray.
We're not talking about Halo here. We're not talking about Halo today. No Halo talk.
Fine. I won't talk about Halo. But we're here to talk about The Last of Us episode 5, Survive and Endure. Some shit happened in this episode. We got some more infected talk. I don't want to say zombies because they're not really zombies, but
no, that's like the cardinal sin with this show. They're not zombies. You can't call them zombies. They don't call them zombies, so we can't call them zombies.
That bothers you, right?
Does it?
Like, well, no, it bothers me. Like, I see people say, like, oh, the zombies came out of the hole. And I'm just like,
okay,
they're not zombies. They're infected. Like, they're not, it's like a fungus. It's not zombies. Zombies are something else.
Yeah, zombies are different.
Zombies are different. Granny, you shoot these things in the head, they probably die.
If you ever hear someone call the creatures in the show zombies, just call them a normie. Normie. You don't know. Get it, you normie.
You didn't play the game. We could be snobs. We're gonna be Last of Us snobs.
Nerdy
snobs. Sorry. Nerdy snobs. If you played the game, you'd understand what they really were. Awkward silence. All right, man.
Yeah.
Episode 5, spoilers, Last of Us. We're about to bust this episode wide open. Hopefully I publish it before episode 6 comes out. We'll find out when you're listening to this. Time will tell. But regardless, episode 5, Survive and Endure. We got to jump into Henry and Sam's story. If you played the game, you know spoilers. I said spoilers.
You did.
Okay. Henry and Sam, we got all kinds of stuff from that. The synopsis for this episode is as follows. While attempting to evade the rebels, Joel and Ellie cross paths with the most wanted man in Kansas City, and Kathleen, the leader of the rebellion against Fedra?
Yes.
In Kansas City. So she's the one who liberated Kansas City from the government. She continues her hunt for Henry, who just hooked up with Joel and Ellie.
At
Crazy.
the end of the last episode.
End of the episode. Yeah.
That was like the stinger of episode 4, I believe, was Ellie basically waking up Joel out of his sleep and
Point those, yeah, with guns in their face.
correct.
And then they started this episode with basically catching us up to that point in time. So, like, we learned that Kansas City was recently liberated, like 10 days from when Joel and Ellie. So they had terrible timing of showing up in the middle of this.
Yeah.
And we kind of got to see Henry and Sam catch up to basically Joel and Ellie's arrival and learn, just kind of follow them with their journey.
Yeah. And people who play the game know Henry and Sam. You know these characters. But I guess you can't really even start talking about them until you address the change in the characters they made in the game, from the game to the show, which is the fact that Sam is deaf on the show and not in the game. So even in like the beginning of the scene or the beginning of this episode, it's a lot of Henry and Sam communicating through sign language and closed captioning then for us as an audience. So a lot of silent moments. How do you feel about the change from the game to the show?
It didn't bother me. I liked it. I liked it even more when I realized that the actor playing Sam was actually deaf.
Yes,
and I thought that was really cool.
Definitely add some authenticity to it, and that's kind of the way I think it had to be done and should have been done. So yeah, I like that part too.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, but yeah, I didn't mind. I honestly, I can tell you, like Henry and Sam's section parts came up. I remember their section being extremely short and very kind of just one room. Like I don't remember doing a lot with them. It was more just kind of being. And once again, you played it more recently than I have. Like in my head, I was just remembering. Like I definitely remember the end of this episode. That basically, but that's like all I remember from Henry and Sam. I don't remember going on like adventures with them like I remember running around Billstown. Okay. I didn't remember doing much with Henry.
Yeah, it may not be as memorable, but they do have a little section. You do go out with them, and like in this show, they kind of remade the same part in the game where they're underground in the tunnels and moving through. It wasn't Kansas City in the game, but it was Pittsburgh, and the same thing. Like you go and they find like a place that used to be a child school, so all that's kind of in there.
Okay,
some changes because, well, I don't want to spoil the game, but there's some things going on. Yeah, man, I asked because I thought it was a cool addition to it, making making Sam deaf and making them communicate through sign language, because I liked the silent moments. It just kind of added more tenseness to the show. I don't know, because everything's kind of not loud, but like there's a lot of talking going on, but having the silence, but still having the heaviness of the moment made it seem a little more like you don't know what's around the corner for these guys. And I like that it just kind of made Sam have to rely on Henry a little more. And if they wouldn't have made him deaf, their relationship would have just kind of been a mirror to Joel and Ellie. So this added like an extra layer to it. I don't know. I just thought it was a smart choice. And
yeah, I really did too. I really didn't mind it. I didn't mind it as an addition. I thought it was cool.
We agree.
And then we fleshed out Kathleen as well. She's obviously an original character for this show, as she wasn't in the game. So being able to tie in and her basically being another character that was kind of almost tied to a pair with her brother that Henry killed to try to save Sam. So a lot of motivation into that, her motives, which are very similar to Henry and Sam's. So it was really cool to kind of see multiple sides. Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy in that scenario? It was done really well.
Yeah, Kathleen and her story of her brother is another. This whole series and show is based upon the love of family and what you'll do for family and what losing family can do to you, like what it did to Joel, what it what Bill thought it was going to do to him, so he chose not to go through that.
Right.
Um, the stuff with Henry and Sam, obviously Joel and Sarah. So it's all just about, you know, she's not immune to it. She's very sad about what happened to her brother and is blinded by revenge and will stop at nothing to get Henry, you know what I mean? And that's kind of an addition to the
To her
game,
detriment.
to her detriment. But yes, yeah, Henry didn't have this storyline in the game.
No.
So this was all added for the show, and I think done in a good way, done in a great way. I like the Kathleen character and running around there with Perry, like we already talked about. He's the brother in the game. What's the brother's name?
Tommy.
Tommy. Yeah. This was their little 2 episodes to shine, and I thought it was cool. I liked her as a villain. I liked Kathleen.
Yeah, it added a lot to the section that's not in the game, which was kind of cool. And yeah, I liked the idea of, even though she was the bad guy, you knew, or the bad woman, you knew why she was doing what she was doing, and she did a really wonderful job with it, with the role, and of just showing why she needed to get this revenge, and it really led to her downfall. She was just so obsessed and just was unwilling to forgive. Even she said in there, like, her brother was like, forgive him, it's okay, and she still couldn't, and it led all the way to her demise. So like, it's just crazy. But I love the fact that the show is just moving along. Like 2 episodes in Kansas City, we're out,
Mm-hmm.
we're ready for the next section. So that was just super cool.
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep the ball rolling. We knew at the beginning of this they were trying to fit the entire first game into this one season.
Right.
So this is the same way it worked in the games. You just keep rolling season to season. They're not doing seasons like they did in the game, like you went fall, winter,
Yeah.
spring, summer. Uh, but yeah, they're moving at a nice pace.
Yeah.
We barely got to know Kathleen and Perry before their untimely demise.
But we got to know them a lot more than we do most other characters on other TV shows.
It's true. It's true.
2 episodes, I feel like I know their motivations and their needs so much heavier than a lot of other shows. Because I really loved the scene with her in her old bedroom talking with, I don't know his name, Harry, just about giving us that backstory about her brother and how important that was. That was just such a cool scene of them just kind of talking it out. And really, they gave her 5 minutes of this hour episode to do it, and she did it. And just to be able to talk about how, display exactly how important her brother was to her. And it was just done so well. I love that scene. And like I said, especially because it was something new for me, because it wasn't in the game.
Well, yeah. And like, I guess when it comes to villains and antagonists and stuff, you kind of just want to understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want them doing things. Just if you had a villain doing something for no reason, then you're not going to feel either way about them. You're not going to care if they win, or sometimes you might root for a villain if like they have a justified reason for doing it. So the fact that she got to explain herself and why,
5 minutes.
We shouldn't be mad at her that she killed all these rats in the beginning of the episode. Like, we are, because it's still like she killed a bunch of people, but it's like, well, I know why she's doing what she's doing, because she's trying to protect her people. That's what this show is about. Tribes, like, you protect your people even if it's at the detriment of others. Like, you don't care. That's what Joel's gonna kill people to protect his daughter and Ellie, and Kathleen's gonna do what she has to do to protect her people. So it's a very like gray line between heroes and villains in this show, and that's the way it was in the game too. So
yeah, and that's how it's definitely a cool little twist to just stories. But I mean, 5 minutes is all they gave her, and I cared about her more than I've watched 3-hour movies or season-long things. And I'm like, I don't care about this villain, this bad. Like, where's the motivation in this? Where is this? 5 minutes, and I had everything I needed for Kathleen and ready to go. And that's why I liked that scene, because I was just ready to go. And she was tragic by her downfall, because you're just like, she can't. If she could just forgive, she would survive. If she didn't go all, like, Kansas City technically fell because she was obsessed with revenge. All of the main like hierarchy of power in Kansas City pretty much died by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about. Like, you just forgave. And you're talking about that episode, that scene in the beginning, and it's always one of those things that bother me. But like when she was talking with like all the rats in air quotes,
Mm-hmm.
and she was executing them or getting ready to, and like trying to get information, and she's like, kill them. And I just never understand like the people in the situation who are like being blackmailed, or that it's just like, why would I tell you anything? Because you're gonna kill me. So I'm gonna be like, hey, I got information, but you're gonna have to get me a steak dinner and I'll tell you about it. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Sometimes when there's blackmail involved, it always just bothers me because I feel like I would handle it differently, but I'm not scripted. So
yeah, scripted characters work a little different than us
they
with
do.
logical human brains.
Logical human brains, I'm just sitting there like, no, you're going to kill me if I say anything, and you're
Yeah,
going to
so
kill
I'm
me
not
if I
saying shit.
don't. So yeah, I'm not going to say shit, but I'm going to tell you that I know exactly what you want.
Right.
And if you do this, I'm not going to tell it to you. Like, I don't know.
Well, then that's the situation where they just start torturing you and like
I know.
pulling your fingernails out or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it would always go bad for me. I would run my mouth and it would go way worse. So
You wouldn't be a good hostage.
no,
Let's
I'd
put
be a
it-
terrible hostage for myself and for whoever else, especially if they don't want to torture anybody.
Yeah.
It's, spiteful Chris. It's okay. Um, but we did get the sniper in the balcony scene,
We did.
and once again, it's been a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and this did pair up pretty closely to what I was thinking. I for some reason had that scene in Billstown in my head.
No, it was with Henry.
It was in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the end of the scene and like Joel went up and saw the dude who was doing it in the radio, and we're almost here. And then obviously the whole back half of that scene where he's sniping everybody, trying to keep everybody safe. I'm like, I remember all of that. I remember doing that. That was harrowing, and I failed at it over and over and over and over again. So because my aiming is terrible.
There's some definite definite differences.
Get it?
Blah, blah. Definite differences between the game and the show, but the spirit of it was the same.
Yeah.
Like the cul-de-sac they built perfectly. Like it was the same as the game. Down a guy at the end of the cul-de-sac shooting at you from a top story window. In the game, I know you definitely had to try to sneak your way over there. There was a lot more. There was villains to deal with on the way, though, like more henchmen.
Yeah, there definitely was a lot more on the ground.
Yeah, you can't really do that in a show. You know what I mean? It's different. But like in the game, also, it's a guy who's taunting you from that window and hitting you, so has better aim than what in this show. Like Joel made a point to say, like, "Oh, he's not going to hit me. It's nighttime, and he's got shit aim." And then when Joel does get up there finally in the game, it's just like a guy he chokes out and kills. In this, it's like an old man who,
they made you not realize that he was with them. Like in my head, I'm still sitting there thinking, "Oh man, it's just some old dude holding down a house." Until they found the radio, and then I'm like, "Oh shit, he's with them."
Yeah, but it kind of added some more realism to it. Like they're not all soldiers. This is just an old man who's kind of part of this group, and he's just shooting out a window badly. And Joel doesn't want to kill this guy, and he asks him, "Please just give up," but the guy won't. Joel didn't want to kill him. He basically said, like, all you have to do is put your gun down, stay up here for an hour. Please don't make me do this. And the guy, whatever, doesn't want to do it, which was a nice addition. I really liked that moment. But yeah, it was that whole sniper scene was pretty cool for us who've played the game, and just cool anyway. So
yeah, I would enjoy it regardless, but I also was having horrible flashbacks of trying to defend Ellie,
right,
and everybody
in the game too.
Rifle.
In the game, that was a hard part in the game. Being Joel and having to snipe. Sniping in games is always hard. No matter if they make you do a sniping section, like a forced sniping section, and if you're not good at it, you lose. It's frustrating. We're as Call of Duty players, or like we try to. We're not snipey boys. We're not good.
No, we are not snipey boys. I try, and I can snipe someone in the head, and they still just kill me. So
you just said I could snipe somebody in the head. The FBI is going to be looking at this.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, that's going to get flagged.
Red flag. My FBI agent heard
Yeah,
that.
might have to cut that. So
Nope.
back to talking about The Last of Us.
Yeah.
We obviously, it's been a minute since we got any kind of like big action, and we definitely got it in the scene with the infected invasion when they came through they finally busted through the sinkhole in crazy fashion. Like that tanker got dropped down in that hole, and then they sat there with the camera paused on the hole, and then when those things jumped up, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
That was crazy. And then, like I said, to watch after the episode when they're showing like all of those were actors, the idea of so much live action and so much practical effects going into the show is amazing.
Yeah,
because they could have very easily CGI'd all that shit, and they didn't.
Yeah, they could have just like Infinity Ward it or something, No.
Wait, Infinity War, like the Avengers, or Infinity Ward, like Call of Duty? Which one were you going for?
I was going for Infinity War Avengers,
Gotcha.
apostrophe D, Infinity Ward.
I got Call of Duty on the head. Yeah,
I got you. But yeah, a lot. That was really well done scene. Probably the biggest action piece of the show so far, I'd say. Right? Mine, maybe the kind of the scene in episode 1, like the original when the whole pandemic was going down, or not pandemic, but you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely the biggest action piece of the show so far, and done great. I mean, I loved it. All those things shooting up out of the sinkhole, and attacking everyone, and Ellie running through, and Joel protecting her. It was like basically what do they call that? Not passenger mission, but like a escort mission of a video game, where you have to like escort, you have to protect somebody running through somewhere. This happens in video games all the time. That was that on the on screen. Like, he's making her path for her as she's running through, and he's like, someone's on her side this way, hits them. Someone's on her side that way. Like, as fans of video game, even just video games in general, that's awesome to see. But I loved all that. Loved their communication. They were like looking at each other. Their bond is really starting to grow. This was
there were definitely some moments in that you had to be tight with someone to pull off what they were pulling off.
I mean, and if you don't love, I know we talked about this in our first couple episodes, but if you don't love Bella Ramsey as Ellie by now, like, she's doing such a good job. Just her facial expressions during that scene, and like she's conveying the fear and the scrappiness of Ellie. Like, I see it. It's there. It's all
it is there.
Like, she's great at this. She's great at this role, honestly.
Yeah. There's a reason she got it. I ain't gonna hate on it.
Yeah.
I'm over whatever I was holding on to.
Okay. I was just kind of checking to see if you were still feeling that way.
Nah. I'm fine. I'm fine with what we got.
No, she's doing great. That's not the point though. But like, this was a great scene. We finally met the bloater. Got our first bloater, which was terrifying, and ripped Perry's head off in a brutal fashion.
And slammed some people around like the Hulk.
Right. It's basically the Hulk of the infected is what the bloater is.
Yeah. Right? That was insane.
Yeah. So I loved it. I love the scene. You liked it, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, how do you not? And then it, like I said, ended with Kathleen still obsessed with taking down Henry, to the fact that little which cost her life, because the little kid infected got her.
There was a little kid clicker.
Little kid clicker.
Kids could be clickers, but that's something new.
That's terrifying.
There was no kid clickers. Yeah, Perry told her to run.
Yeah, this ain't Silent Hill. We don't do that shit.
Right. Perry told her to run. She could have ran and lived, but she was still obsessed with taking out Henry, and it cost her her life. So,
yep. Like we said, it was just that obsession with revenge just cost her life, and it was crazy, and it made me feel things, and just kind of was like, oh, didn't really want her to see her go, but I could understand, because I could see that obsession that she had, and she just couldn't let it go and refused to forgive. And it's just why we should always forgive people.
Forgiveness.
It's what we preach here at Raised A Geek.
I forgave you for not watching the show till Monday.
I know, and then waiting till Friday to record. I've apologized a lot, Don. So crazy ending to this episode.
Yeah.
kind of, and pushed us straight through KC, and basically already showed us in the preview for the next episode that we're heading to Wyoming and we're there. I mean, they already showed us Tommy and Joel reuniting, and snow. We're in winter, man.
Wait, so you don't even want to talk about the ending then, huh?
Oh shit! I did write that ending, and I was thinking about that. Yeah, let's talk about that ending, man.
I was like, you're just gonna gloss over that ending. Like, what are you doing?
It's too sad. I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
No, that was straight out of the game, man. That was good stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. Really sad.
As expected.
Yeah,
And almost more so because obviously you felt more tied in with Henry and Sam, like Sam having the disability and I don't know, going on this adventure with him, you kind of just felt more.
Well, even in the game, he's like 12. In the show, they made him younger, like 8. So it makes it even worse. Like the kid's 8 years old. Good Lord. Yeah, it's rough. And it was in the game when I played it, and it is again, like even more so. But that's like, this is a sad, depressing show, that you love at the same time. It's you got to find, you got to just be ready for these kind of things, because the show doesn't pull any punches. The game didn't, but yeah, Henry, I mean Sam being bitten during that big infected scene didn't, let it be known. They did make a change from the game where he didn't tell anybody in the game until the next morning when he's an infected, and still attacks Ellie. In this show, like he trusts Ellie, and he like looks up to her, and they've like formed this bond throughout this entire show, which is a bunch of cute scenes throughout this whole episode of them being kids together.
Right.
And she thinks in her head like maybe this is her chance to be a hero, and she thinks her blood can save him because that's what she's been told. Obviously it doesn't work exactly that way, as we find out, but yeah,
but it
man.
was a really cool addition to just that thing of like Ellie starting to really believe that she's special and really be like, my blood is medicine and I can heal you. And the fact that she tried, like she cut open her hand to bleed on him in hopes, like, I really hope this works. It was just pure faith, and obviously didn't work, but it was still just like crazy to watch and heartbreaking because you're just like, no, Sam got bit. And then like watching Ellie do that to try to save him, and deep down, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it was almost more heartbreaking. They're making all of these heartbreaking moments worse. Way worse.
We're 5 episodes in and we've already had like 6 or 7 heartbreaks. I don't know, maybe not that many, maybe I'm exaggerating, but there's been quite a few. And they're not over yet, probably. So
no, it's never over. They'll keep going.
But seeing Henry's reaction to having to kill his brother, and he kind of just did it. He just kind of did it on instinct because whatever, and then it started to sink in what he actually did, and his little freak out, like, what did I do? What did I do? And it's just like, oh no.
Yeah. Dude, Lamar Johnson did such a good job. He did such a good job with that, of just that realization. Like you said, the reacting, they still almost taking like the moment, like, no, I have to be the one that does it. But then even after he did it, he was still just like, what did I just do? Like he still couldn't believe that he did it. Like he stopped Joel from doing it and was like, this is my responsibility. Yeah. But then even after he did it, he's like, what? And just the fact that he couldn't handle that. I mean, obviously it's heartbreaking, but
yeah, it's because like he killed Sam as a infected, but after the fact, after you've now shot him, you're looking down on the ground and all you see is your brother.
Right.
Like you don't see infected Sam, you just see your brother and blood. So that's like, that's the reaction that you think anybody with someone close to them would have in this kind of situation, So
yeah, 100%.
His the way he conveyed it and the emotion throughout the entire thing was really well acted. And
oh god, it was heartbreakingly acted, man.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey's reaction to him doing what he did was great, and just a great scene all around, I think.
And once again, another moment of what's up.
No, just very sad, but great at the same time.
Yeah. Powerful. It's powerful.
Yes.
Bella Ramsey or Ellie basically just then too after they bury both of them, and then just her still kind of sitting there, just like getting more hardened. You
Yes.
saw it after she, saved Joel's life and murdered someone. Then she said, "I've done it before." And then, like I said, after this too, it's like, "Come on, let's go." Like you could see her walling off more and more, and like I said, once again, just done really well.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this is all outstanding.
yeah, the word you used is correct. Powerful.
Yeah,
That's
no, it
that's
was
what I put it
powerful,
with. Yeah.
just tragic, heartbreaking. All of those words that we've all been feeling all week. And I'm 5 days out from watching it. You're 7, and I
Yeah.
still feel it, man.
Right. Yep. We agree.
And then now we can talk about next week.
Yeah.
Or I guess in 2 days we will get heading to Wyoming. We're hitting the winter chapter. So we've done spring and done summer.
Yep. Yep.
We're already at winter, man. Shit's moving quick. It's too fast for me.
We got about 4 episodes left, I believe. 6, 7, 8, 9.
They got a lot to do.
Yeah, there's still a lot to do, but we saw in the trailer we're meeting up with Tommy and his wife and their kind of community, and so we'll kind of see how they play out, if they make any changes from the game or whatever. But I'm sure we will be
Super
watching
excited.
and enjoying it. Yeah.
Super excited. And we will be watching it. We'll be enjoying it. And we'll be back here talking about it, hopefully released on a normal routine schedule.
Yes.
For all of you to, yes, as Don gave me a look like, yeah, Chris, come on.
Get with it. Watch it on time.
I'll watch it on Sunday. Super Bowl threw me off.
I know. Before we get out of here, because I feel like we're getting out of here, I just want to.
We're wrapping.
We're wrapping. I want to remind everybody something we just put out on social media, so you guys know, to like kind of celebrate this show we've really been enjoying in the midpoint. We are doing a little contest, giving away some Last of Us stickers to anybody who wants to go ahead and what'd you do there? Anybody who wants to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, or rate and review us on your podcast platform of choice, be it Apple or Spotify. Rate and review or a subscribe on YouTube. Just go ahead and do that. Screenshot it, send it to us, and we will send you some Last of Us stickers that you can put all over your shit, like your computer or your guitars or your car or your kids or your pets, whatever you want to do with
your kids. We're doing a drawing.
Yeah.
For a winner to win some stickers.
We are. That's what we're doing. So a random person who wants to go ahead and do that.
We don't have the funds to send everybody stickers.
No, that would be crazy.
It'd be insane.
We would definitely appreciate those things. Like we say, we always appreciate any subscriptions and likes and ratings and reviews. And now you get something for doing it. So if you feel inclined, we would appreciate it. And
absolutely
get some swag for it. So just wanted to put that out there, remind everybody. It's on our social media, so go check that out. I think it's the pinned tweet right now, so you can see that. And yeah.
And where can you see that?
On Twitter
at Raised A Geek. On Twitter. I was like, I gotta say at Raised A Geek, otherwise you just open up Twitter, it ain't gonna be there.
Not on Twitter's main page, on Elon Musk's Twitter.
Maybe it will be
someday.
But yes, join the conversation. Hit us up on Twitter at Raised A Geek, Instagram at Raised A Geek, YouTube at Raised A Geek, Facebook at Raised A Geek, Gmail, raisedageek@gmail.com. We are everywhere that you can be except for TikTok.
We haven't done TikTok yet.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm too old for TikTok.
Yeah, we are too old for TikTok.
But I'm probably too old for all of them, but whatever.
Facebook. We're young for Facebook.
Yeah, we're young for Facebook. Maybe TikTok's next. We'll see.
I don't know. But we are everywhere. Raised A Geek. You can hit us up on all podcast services. Hit us up with those reviews. Do a screenshot. Send it over to our Twitter. Hit us in the DMs over there. Get entered in a drawing. Win some cool Last of Us swag. We hope you all are enjoying this show as much as we are enjoying it. We're loving it. Don't know what's going to happen once this is finally done. But we do got plenty of stuff to talk about because, as we said, Flash is coming out. Ant-Man Quantumania just came out today or yesterday or whatnot. I'll see it at some point. I think you're going to see it tomorrow.
I believe I am.
So Don's definitely about to be Quantumania'd out of his mind. We are ready for all kinds of geek stuff in this world. We will be here at Raised A Geek, so make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us. But I think for right now, that is going to do it for us this week. So for Raised A Geek, I'm Chris.
And I'm Don.
And thanks for checking out the show.
Where geek is all we speak.